There we go. Okay. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here today. We're very excited to be sharing with you these beautiful people I have here on the screen with you. We're going to be talking about insulin resistance. It's something that, most of us don't even realize we have, and it's a huge problem, like worldwide, not just in this country. I mean, 93% of the population has symptoms and signs of insulin resistance. And we wonder why we have so many health issues, I'm going to show them in a second here, but it's like it affects all of us. And we're doing this today to bring awareness, to share with you that there are natural solutions that are not necessary with medications and so forth. So we're really excited to be here today. We've got some great guests, and we're going to be sharing some really wonderful things that have changed our lives in just a short period of time. So I'm going to share my screen here to kind of identify what some of the symptoms of insulin resistance are. And, I've been a wellness coach and in the metabolic space for a long time, actually 25 years. By the way, my name's Monica. I didn't say that. But I taught people how to eat right, how to exercise. The missing link was insulin resistance. And when I realized this here, after having my own life journey going on and seeing people I very much love in my life you know get sick with some of these symptoms, and also my parents passing away from cancer, this became a mission of mine. And if you look at this here, you can look at some of the signs of insulin resistance, and when I saw that, I went, wow, I can identify with a whole bunch of these. Belly fat, skin tags, constantly having cravings for sugar and sweets or salty things, whatever it may be for you. And kind of take a look at this here and see if you can see some things that that you might be able to identify with. For younger women, PCOS, diabetes type 2 is a big one. Obesity, that visceral fat, fatty liver. And we're not just seeing it anymore in adults. We're seeing it now in children. Actually, as young as 9-year-olds already have, fatty liver. So kind of look at some of these symptoms and see if you can identify with any of them. And what's causing this as well, what's really contributing to it, and it's not our fault. Big pharma and the food industry are not on our side. They're looking at selling their food to us. That's causing most of these things are processed foods, highly processed, highly modified. We are not eating what our parents ate when we were growing up. And this is the modern diet dilemma. We're eating and snacking continuously. And when we're doing this here, we are constantly elevating our insulin and our glucose in our bodies, so our body can't burn body fat. And and I was guilty of this. I was teaching this to people to eat 3 meals a day and snack several times a day. I thought that's what it was meant to be, till I learned about insulin resistance. And when we're actually eating and snacking all the time, our body does not get a break from this dilemma. The second dilemma, as you can see in this picture here, is that we're constantly, or all the fiber's been removed from our foods. That is really bad. Okay. So anyways, we're going to talk more about this a little bit later. Before I do this, though, I want to introduce a couple of people on this call, and we're going to start off. Let me stop my share for a minute. I'm going to start off with Susan here. Susan has an incredible, touching story to share. I met her on a cruise we just came from, and I'm going to show the picture too. But you have an incredible story, and I have a beautiful picture of you to share with you here. So go ahead, just kind of tell us what's happened with you.
Okay, well, my name is Susan. My husband passed away about in May of 2022, which is what, 3.5, coming up on 4 years. Up until that point, I always took care of myself. I'm an avid runner. I've ran many marathons, half marathons, but and this didn't happen right away after Jim passed away. My weight, I kind of kept in check, and I've always took care of myself, ate healthy. Well, I hurt my back in September, would have been over a year ago. And so I kind of had to quit running. And I'm still active. I walk my dogs, I bike, but it seemed like gradually going from having two people taking care of a home to me being the only one to take care of a home. I so much to do and not enough time, and you always have that stress upon yourself that you want to keep your home nice, you want to keep everything, and you just can't do everything. So I used to be very good at doing my Pilates tapes, but I couldn't find time to do everything. So that part of my life kind of went by the wayside. And then with hurting my back, that kind of put a stop to a lot of the exercising stuff that I did. And up until about a year and a half ago, I could keep my weight stayed pretty much in check. And then all of a sudden I've noticed I would just, every time I got on the scale, I'd gain weight. And I tried many different things to no avail. In fact, one of them, I gained 10 pounds.
Oh,
And
wow.
uh, it, and I was thinking about this today, and I said, food was holding me hostage because that's all I thought about was food.
Yeah.
It's like the hungry hippo thing that just all I did was want to eat, and it wasn't good food. And I couldn't figure out why nothing appealed to me to eat. I actually was tired of eating, and it's always drummed into my mind. You got to eat breakfast. You got to eat 3 meals a day or snack in between. And when you're a runner, you're taught, you got to have carbs, and that gives you power to run. So that mindset is always there. And I just, it got to the point where um, I looked in the mirror, and the person that I saw looking at me, it wasn't me anymore. I'm like, I don't, and when you lose a spouse, they tell you you're never going to be the person that you were. And that's very true. I'm not the person I was before Jim passed away. And he was my everything. That we'd been together for over 50 years, married,
Yeah.
46. But and that that alone is one of the worst things in the world to have to go through. Well, then you're trying to figure yourself out. You can't figure out why your body's just, I'm like, I had fat in places that, oh wow, I'm just like, the something's not right here. And like I said, my eating, I I didn't eat very well. I didn't care to eat, is actually, I snacked, and that's not me. It never was me. And I talked to my doctor about it, and basically she told me that it's metabolism. You're getting old. Okay, well, that's not much help. And
No,
she
that's what we're all
yeah,
told.
yeah, and my blood pressure was going up when I went. I'm a very healthy person. I always have been, and my blood pressure was going up. Okay, I'm like, great. Now she's gonna up my I have Raynaud's syndrome, which is a circulation thing. And so she ups my I take high blood pressure medicine for that, a very small dose. But she upped that for my blood pressure that is now going up. I had gained 20 pounds when I went to my last doctor's appointment in May. Um, I asked her about, it didn't, my stomach, I just never felt good, honestly good. Um, every time I ate, my stomach hurt. And I can't remember who, I might have told Vickie this. I felt like if someone poked me with a pin in my, I'd have blown up.
Oh my,
You know, like a
yeah.
balloon that takes off. That's how I felt, just bloated all the time. And yeah, it was just a horrible feeling. And like I said, it was like, it was like looking at a stranger in the mirror, and my clothes didn't fit and I didn't feel good. I'd eat, sit down on the couch and fall asleep. And then at night, I would sit down to watch TV, fall asleep. And when I'd wake up, I'd immediately go to the cupboard. My thing was fish crackers. That's my, luckily, I haven't had one of them in a very long time. And so I happened to, after my doctor's appointment and not being feeling very satisfied, but they don't help you. They just, she, like I said, gives me Prilosec for my stomach. Here, try this. It might work. It might not. I'm like, well, okay, thank you. And so I happened to remember seeing something on Facebook. Vickie had asked a lady, Carolyn, about insulin resistance. And that was always in the back of my mind. And so I got into touch with Vickie. She is my sister-in-law.
I was just
And
gonna say you should explain how you guys are related.
uh,
Because I mean, you just said it, but I'm just saying this is a real key point. You guys are friend, you're relatives, right? But
yes,
this was your trigger point to make a change, seeing that on Facebook, right?
yes, yes. And we're both, Vickie and I are on similar roads, not ones we chose to be on, but that is where we're at. And so anyhow, I reached out to her and talked to her about it, and I could see just by looking at her that, wow, this is, I'm like, what is insulin resistance? I would have never, it's not something that you're ever, I was never told that. A doctor never ever mentioned that. And so anyhow, we got together, and I've basically been on this product since September 1st. And from the very day I have felt, um, I was trying to think, like this morning, and when I was on my way to church, I'm like, I just feel good. I I can't. It's hard to put into words when you don't. And I don't want to sound vain about how you look or how you, but if you don't feel good in your own body and you don't feel good, besides you don't look, when you look at yourself, you have to be happy with yourself.
Oh, it makes a
And
huge difference.
yes, and I mean, yeah, and I've lost 20 pounds and I've lost inches. My clothes fit. I have more energy and I just feel good. I don't, it's hard to explain to
Well, you know
people.
what, Susan, you don't even have to try to explain. Look at this picture. This
I
is
mean,
this is from you said September 1st. So this is
yeah,
you took this picture August 31st, and by October, look at the love
yeah,
handle thing is going. And you came
yeah,
with us on a cruise to the
yeah,
Bahamas, and look at this girl. I mean, I'm saying your picture, as picture speaks a million words, 1,000 words. And you had an incredible journey just in such a short period of time. because you're reversing insulin resistance. And I didn't mean to interject here real quickly here, but I want to share something with you. We have a protocol here that is a two-step protocol that you just reduce meal frequency. You're not eating all the time, like Susan was mentioning. And we take a soluble, insoluble fiber just before we eat. And I'm going to do a live demonstration here just before we get to Vickie, because this is how simple it is. I'm sipping on this right now. It makes it, I get up in the morning, instead of breakfast, I sip on this. This is what we're all doing on this presentation here today. And then before we eat something, whether you're eating 2 meals a day or 1 meal a day, I'm going to do a demonstration and show you. This is a fiber. It's a soluble fiber. And watch this. I just pour it in water. This is what we do. This is so simple. Shake it up and you chug it like a beer before you eat. And I'm going to let this sit because I'm doing a demonstration on this to see what happens when you take the soluble fiber before a meal. It's quite awesomely shocking, actually, how this can help reverse insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes. And of course, the little drink we sip on during the day comes from the herbamate plant, and this is going to help it so you're not hungry, you don't have cravings, you have more energy. And Vickie was, or Susan was talking about how she feels. This is going to make you feel great, and we're going to go into more detail in just a short while. So Susan, I want to thank you for these pictures here and sharing what has happened with you, because it's so remarkable. This is not a diet. This is not something where you have to change how you're eating. You just incorporate this along with your normal lifestyle. Just reduce some meal frequency and, forget about the diet thing. Diet means deprivation, and you can have
Uh-huh.
these kind of results. Look how the short of time this has happened for you. I'm just very touched. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just in awe. I I haven't I'm going to get my blood work done because I wanted to wait the 90 days, and I just I just feel good. I that's all I can say. It's phenomenal, and it's so easy. It's so easy.
That's
I've
the biggest part.
I've
It's,
never,
yeah,
yeah, I've never been doing anything that is so simple. Yeah.
well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that. And we got to keep moving here. So I want to introduce,
Okay.
thank you. I
Thank
want to
you.
Vickie, who introduced, Susan, which is wonderful. We're all on a big mission here, but Vickie, you have another touching story, and it's so wonderful that you shared this with Susan. That's what it's all about, sharing with people you love and care. So why don't you go ahead and share your story with us, because I'd love to hear it.
Perfect. Thank you, Monica, for having us on this call today. And Susan, thank you for believing. Sorry, I might get emotional.
It's all right.
Believing in me when both of us have had such a tough time. Sorry, I didn't mean, told myself I wasn't going to do this.
Oh no, it's good. It's all fun.
When Susan lost her husband, who was my husband's younger brother, in May of 22 to cancer. And it was a shock to all of us because we were not expecting. I mean, he had been sick, but like I said, we never expect a loved one to leave us so soon and at such a young age, because Jim wasn't, he was just in his mid-60s. And so it was really hard. And his older brother, who was my husband, Chuck, his Jim's boys looked up to him and were looking forward to having Uncle Chuck there to replace their dad. And that didn't happen. It did for a couple months. And July of 22, my husband decided he was going to go on a motorcycle memorial ride for somebody else. And he didn't come home. He went off the road. And I lost him, the love of my life, for 25 years. And yeah, I said I wasn't going to do this. Sorry, folks.
No, this is very touching. This is a very deep emotional thing for both of you.
So after all this happened, like I said, it was devastating for all of the family. And so Susan and I are both widows at, at the same age, basically. And we, Susan and I did things together, but we didn't do a lot together, as you know, when our husbands were alive. And this came into my life when I saw uh, my dear friend Carolyn, who had only met once before. I'd seen her post on Facebook that she was doing this thing to lose weight. And I thought, interesting, because I had gained weight as Susan after losing my spouse. And I'd even gained some prior to that. And I was working on trying how to figure out how to lose that weight. And I was trying all sorts of different things, and nothing was happening. Yeah, oh, yucky. This is scary. This was the me
Hey,
and this was me in that blue dress, like a few months after I lost Chuck. This was in May of 23. I went to Hawaii with my cousins. I didn't feel good about myself at the time. As you can tell, you can see why I didn't feel good about myself. I had gained weight that wouldn't come off, way more than I ever thought I had until I saw this picture. Like, it was devastating when I was going through before and after pictures that I wanted to share with folks. And I saw this photo and I thought, oh my gosh, Vickie, this is horrible. I mean, I didn't realize I looked as bad as I do in that picture. And we know that we're struggling in our world and our lives, but we really don't take and think about it in this aspect until you actually see pictures.
yep.
Pictures speak 1,000 words, like we talked with Susan. And I tell folks out when they start this journey with us, please take pictures. And even though you don't like what you look like now, you'll be glad you did, because let me tell you, I'm really glad I did. So back to my journey. I st before I, like I said, I started on this feel great journey. My youngest son was getting married in Mexico, which was this in December of last year, 24. And I had to do something because I knew I didn't want to go there looking like this overweight mom of the mother of the groom. So I thought, okay, I tried different things and nothing would work. And I was not faithful about exercising because I was still in just a funk. And so I thought, okay, what am I going to do? So I'd been working with an integrative health professional, and she suggested that I try tirzepatide, which is a semaglutide injection. And I hadn't shared that with anybody until I started on this journey and shared my story. I was on that from July until October, and I lost some with it, but I didn't feel good. It was constant acid reflux. I just felt yuck. I did not feel good, but I didn't lose, like I said, a lot, but I didn't give it a lot of time. Then another company I was with came out with a natural GLP-1 product, and I tried that, and I still wasn't losing. I mean, I'd lost lots more, than what this picture in the blue dress shows. I did lose more, to make myself presentable at my son's wedding, but still not to where Vickie wanted to be. I still wasn't comfortable in my own skin. And like I said, I saw Carolyn's picture on Facebook in April of 25 of this year. And so I reached out and asked her what she was doing. And she told me her story. And she was talking about insulin resistance. I had no clue what insulin resistance was.
Most of us don't. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody ever talked about it.
No.
Yeah, I went to my doctor and, oh, you look great. Your labs are, you're borderline pre-diabetic. You need to watch this, you watch that. Okay, fine. So anyhow, I took the plunge and I started on the product. And I started seeing inches go first. I started seeing more energy, and everything just started naturally changing. And I know it was, I mean, one thing Carolyn said, Vickie, this isn't a weight loss system. I said, okay. I believed everything she said. She introduced me to Monica. Monica shared stuff with me, and I just listened. And they kept wanting me to share my story because I was telling them I was losing weight and I was losing inches and I was feeling better. And I said, nope, not till I get my lab works done. Because I also did an A1C study for the company that we're using this product with. I was part of their A1C study. So anyway, long story short, I went ahead and continued on this journey. And like I said, clothes were getting looser. I'm feeling better and I'm feeling more positive, more energy, and I'm feeling like a new Vickie. Like a light bulb has came on and I'm feeling like, wow, this is amazing. So anyway, I went to my doctor. I went and had my labs done on my own. Went to my doctor in August because it was 105 days then that had been on the system. I went to my doctor and she walked in, looked at me, asked me what I was doing, and I said, something new with a big grin on my face. And she said, I handed her my labs and she said, Vickie, this is the best your labs have ever looked, and this is the best you've ever looked. Keep doing what you're doing. So from that point on, I told Carolyn and Monica my story and what my doctor said, and they said, we want your story. I shared my story with Monica and Carolyn. Monica put it together and I shared it on social media, and the rest is history. I went
Oh,
from
go ahead.
a loss of 20 pounds. When at the 105 days, I was down 16 pounds and 9.25 inches. And I did that without hardly any exercise. Do I need to exercise and get toned? Yes, I do. And that's part of my journey where I'm at now. And as of today, I'm down over 23 pounds and over 12 and a half inches.
So I have a question for you. What does the woman represent who you are today? Who are you today?
Oh, I'm a totally different person. I'm a new Vickie, a new me, and I'm healing from the inside out and knowing that my husband is watching over me, because that's one thing that always bothered him is when I was overweight, because I'd always say something to him, if I'm too fat or if I'm just too big, please tell me. He would be so proud of me right now. And
No, we all are.
so it's just a new me, a new beginning, and I feel like I have life back again. And not only losing my husband and my brother-in-law, I'd lost my mother this September before I lost both of them. So it's been a rough road, but I now am on a path to happiness and health and a new freedom in me, and want to
Well,
share this with the world, because everybody needs to know there's more to life than feeling like crap.
you're hitting it right on target. And your journey has you've started a mission here. You're sharing it with your family, like you shared it with Susan. You're sharing it with people you care about, because this is an alternative to getting on, like you said, the medications, the Ozempics, the Manjaro. There's no side effects. This is natural. And this is getting thicker, just so you know. I'm going to be showing it in a minute, but it's getting thick. This is just one of the parts of the protocol that we use. So, Vickie, is there anything you want to add before I move on to John?
I don't think so. I just want people to understand that this is super simple. Like we say, it's stupid simple. Don't make it any harder than it is. Follow what we tell you and don't wait, because if you wait, you're only hurting yourself. It is well worth every penny that you spend on it. In fact, you save money being on this protocol.
Yeah, you're right. It's how much is it? Like $5 a day, right?
Yep, about $5 a day is
Yeah,
all your
less than
person
a
is spending.
coffee.
Yes,
You know?
most definitely. And like I said, it's just amazing. And I don't eat the sweets like I used to, because I was a junkie when it comes to eating sweets, and anything that I could find to put in my mouth, I would do it.
This is
And
mine.
yeah, perfect. Yep. No. So like I said, it's just amazing. I love it. I will never ever regret doing it. And I thank Carolyn for sharing her story on Facebook, and it's just amazing. It's a beautiful family to be a part of.
Thank you so much. It's like a domino effect. It's
It
it's
is.
it's hard to keep your mouth shut, and not to share it. So thank you, Vickie. Now I want to go to John. John has an incredible story of recovery from an accident he had earlier last year, or actually this year. And he's also the love of my life. So go ahead, John. Why don't you go ahead and share your story?
Thanks, Monica, and thanks Susan and Vickie for sharing your very touching stories with us. And I'm just so glad that you're part of our family too. So keep up the good work. So as Monica mentioned, looking at 2025, it's been quite a journey, but I would like to basically step back from 2025 and just say throughout my life, I've battled obesity. I was the fat kid growing up in school, and a lot of abuse, a lot of emotions around living as an obese adolescent and going into young adulthood. I lost weight as a young man, put it back on, gained weight, put it back on, fell into the trap of addiction. I'm an alcoholic recovering. And that combined is just not good for your metabolic health at all. Coming into this year, I was a mess. Coming into 2025, we looked at a very different me than you're seeing now. I was overweight, 30 pounds plus more than you're seeing me now coming into 2025. Monica and I took a holiday in Costa Rica at the end of 2024, an extended holiday. And in early January, I broke my femur. I shattered my femur in Costa Rica. It was really bad. I had to do emergency surgery in Costa Rica. It was not good. And I'm still recovering. But the good news is that I'm on a very great road to recovery. I continued to gain weight during my recovery. I could not move. I've been immobile for most of the last 11 months. And it wasn't until May and June I started walking and being able to get out and be more active. So looking into the history, coming on to the Feel Great system, I made a decision in April to not only do this in earnest, because I saw what Monica was doing, I saw what people were doing and how they were responding to this protocol, and I was amazed. And it was time for me to get on and get this going for myself and give it a good try. Earnestly give it a try, a good 90-day try, because I hadn't before. So in April, I decided to go ahead and jump on the bandwagon and also go alcohol free. The last 7 months have been really awesome for me. I've gained a lot of energy. Again, I've shed 30 pounds. Edema, inflammation, a lot of markers having to do with metabolic disaster are improving. Again, it's a journey for me, and it will be for the rest of my life. It will be a journey, but it's been great. I feel great being down the weight. I feel great being off booze. That was something that's had its grip on me for a long, long time, off and on. And this protocol has helped me in every category to recover. And it's been amazing because I couldn't exercise. And I looked at this protocol and I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna give it a whirl, and immediately started seeing results and feeling better. Very much like Susan and Vickie, I noticed inches coming off and energy coming back, and just overall feeling good about who I was becoming, the man I wanted to become. You can see in these pictures, pictures of me previously, again, very heavy, and it's been a battle for me my entire adult life. My labs have improved. My insulin, I just now did a fasting insulin just this last couple of weeks. I'm down to a level 3, which is excellent for fasting insulin. My glucose A1C is down. Just overall feeling very, very good. So again, a journey that I'm so glad to be on with the love of my life, Monica, and so many others on her team that it's just been phenomenal. And so it's been great. And going into the holidays, it's a good momentum to have, because the holidays has always been a weakness for me. It's been a temptation for me to do more drinking, Oftentimes I feel the holidays brings on a lot of emotional stress for me, a lot of just memories that I look back at the last holidays, how I felt, how I looked, and how I felt, and I'm just feeling so much better and more positive coming into the holiday season this year.
That's very touching, and thank you for sharing. It is when we share these stories, we all have something that's very emotional to us, because somehow all when I listen to all of you, and this was including me, we've all had an issue with some kind of addiction, whether it be food, emotionally, we eat, when we get down, we get stressed out, we go to some kind of a vice, and a lot of us has been food, and then of course we just heard about alcohol. So this protocol, and I thank you for sharing, because you're on an incredible journey. And I was just going to ask one more question. Where do you see yourself moving forward before I go and explain more about the protocol?
Going forward, I'm right there with Vickie. It's time for me to now pump up the physical activity. I used to be in very good shape, like Susan. Uh, I'm a cyclist. I always took pride in my physical fitness. I'm an elk hunter. We just went elk hunting this year. Monica got an elk. Woohoo! Um, but I was able to do
Yummy.
that. I was able, to get out, and elk hunting is very physical, by the way. You have to be in great shape to hunt elk. And so, no, getting physical, getting back to the gym, and building my strength back, continuing to heal my femur, to heal my broken metabolism, and my body is my next steps into 2026.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so proud of all of you for the steps you've taken to improve your health. And I think it was Susan that said it's simple, it's easy. I think all of you have mentioned that. So let me go back to kind of sharing with you what we're doing. And right now, what I'm going to show you has helped already over 1 million people now worldwide. Most people haven't heard of it, which is they're going to hear about it because of these stories, but most people have not even heard about it. And remember, I showed this earlier on, that the fiber's been removed from our foods. But we need to get some of these things back into our lifestyle, which is really hard to do because of the processing, because of the modified foods. Like I said before, we're not eating the same foods. And an example of that is, all the cereal companies early on, when they came out with their cereals, they started pushing this thing about breakfast being the most important meal of the day to sell their cereal. If you look back at our ancestors or our relatives, I'm sure they did not get up first thing in the morning and have cereal or waffles and pancakes. They went out and did chores first and then came in and had breakfast, which means breaking fast, maybe at 11 o'clock in the morning, before they went on with their days. So it's been a really misconception that's been put out there, that mostly the food industry has put out there to make money. So what we're doing with this protocol is we're bringing back the fiber that's been taken out of everything. It's really hard. If you sat down and figured out how you could eat enough fiber every day, you'd be eating like bowls this size of cauliflower and cereal and all kinds of things. It's really hard to do. So we have this amazing thing that was actually introduced. If you guys remember Rexall drugs way in the day, they in Santa Barbara did a research and they came out with something, this fiber was called Bio's Life back then. But this fiber here gets your microbiome and your gut health back in order. When your gut health's in order, so is your mind. Your digestive system starts working more regular. The benefits are when you take this fiber, and I mixed it up here, and I'm going to talk about this here. It gets really thick. I'm going to show you how thick it gets. You're not going to want to drink it this thick because that's like drinking Jello. Remember how I mixed it up? You pour it in a glass, you shake it up, and you chug it like a beer just before you eat. And this is what happens in your stomach. It gets really thick. And this is not like a Benefiber or Metamucil. Those are fibers to basically help you go poop. This here coats your food. coats your intestines. So first of all, the benefit is going to, curb your appetite so you can't eat as much. Fiber is essential for any metabolic health. It helps reduce the amount of dietary carbohydrates you're eating. It blocks the carbs, the absorption, supports healthy blood glucose levels, weight management. Obviously, if you can't eat as much and your carbs aren't spiked all the time, you're going to help with your weight management. This has been studied by the Cleveland Clinic. I want you to think about this for a minute. That's the #1 heart hospital in the entire world. They've done a study on that and they support it. They actually wrote down in one of their publications, such a product if taken on a regular basis could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis and potentially decrease the need of lipids, lowering prescription drugs like statins. That's phenomenal. The University of, Sydney did a study on this. And if you take this before your meals, you can reduce your, glucose spike by 28%. Hold on a minute. So remarkable. And that is just the fiber. Let's go to this here, the herbamate extract. This is phenomenal. This here, by sipping on it, it's going to do a lot of things. It's going to make you feel good. You heard everybody here today talked about how they're feeling better. When your gut health and everything is, oh my goodness, what's happening here? Getting phone calls. Let me decline this. Can you guys still see my share?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, good. Everything went berserk here for a second. When your gut health is good, your mental health is good. So this helps support a feeling of well-being. It helps with cognitive health as well. Helps maintain endurance stamina. You're going to promote satiety, so you're not as hungry. And this actually is like a natural GLP-1. GLP-1 is already produced naturally in our gut. And our environment and everything is making it so we're not producing the same amounts anymore. This here will help increase your GLP-1 by 67% by sipping on this. We just sip on this instead of having breakfast in the morning. And, when you break your fast, maybe around 11 o'clock or noon, eat a good meal with high protein, good fats. And then after you have your lunch, make another one of these and sip on it. You can drink it hot or cold. And these are phenomenal. They come in a fierce flavor, which I really like. They come in what's this one? Lemon ginger, lemon. They brought a new one out called raspberry pomegranate. Have you guys tried that one?
Yep.
Yummy.
Okay, awesome. And they also have, there's a little bit of caffeine in this, but if you can eat a piece of dark chocolate, you can have the Unimate. But they came out with a new caffeine or low caffeine, like that's not going to give you as much caffeine. But all you do is, so it's really easy. Let me go to the next page here and show you. This is how easy it is. So instead of breakfast, you're going to sip on this here. When you have your lunch and you break your fast, you're going to take the fiber, tug it like a beer before you eat. After lunch, you're going to mix another one of these, sip on it in the afternoon. It's going to get rid of all your cravings. I mean, for me, I don't crave potato chips or all these salty things anymore. And then just before you have your dinner, you mix up another one of these, chug it like a beer and eat dinner. A lot of us are finding that we're not eating as much anymore or eating as many meals a day. A lot of times what we have found, and anybody wants to kind of put it in there, have you guys realized some days you don't even want to have lunch or have your first meal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can go hours. It's just amazing because you go from wanting to eat everything in sight constantly to being satisfied in your fasting window, feeling good and have energy. That it's mind-boggling.
That's
It's
awesome.
just the coolest thing. Like I said, it's the simplest thing I have ever done in my life. Yeah, I wished I would have known about this years ago.
But better late.
That's right.
But never,
Better late than
I'd say.
never.
This was
That's right.
introduced only like 3.5 years ago, so it is very new
Yeah.
out there. So, and people are going to hear more and more and more about this. And think about the holiday season we're coming into right now. Most of us are eating, through Thanksgiving. It continues through visiting friends and family, and then of course not just eating, but drinking, all the
Mhm.
way through Christmas. And then we've got New Year's. What do we do on New Year's? We wake up on the New Year with a hangover, and we make all these crazy New Year's resolutions. Well, with this protocol, we don't have to do that. We
Right.
can still enjoy the foods we like. It's just going to make it so that you don't have to feel guilty, and just drink this before your meals. I mean, between meals when you're fasting in your fasting window, and have this just before you eat your meals. How simple is that?
Monica, if I can
Yeah.
add one more thing, we just got back from a cruise,
Yeah.
with the company, and I got home and I hopped on the scale because I was curious how much weight I'd gained, because boy, did we eat, and we also had our little drinks. I got home and was down 0.2 pounds. I had lost weight while I was on the cruise, and I ate
That's
and drank and whatever I wanted to.
that's crazy, right? Because these cruises, they have so much food. It's like, even
Yeah.
if you don't want to eat, there's just so much different varieties of food. It's like crazy.
Yep.
Well, you feel like you have to, yeah, you have to try it. And I'm like Vickie. The minute I got home, I'm like, oh dear, I got to get on the scale. And it was the same thing as when I left. So, yeah,
There you
The
go.
system works.
yeah,
Proofs in the pudding. And we're
yeah.
doing something really special, all of us here. So whoever, if you know anybody, as you're watching this, get in touch with everybody here that's friends with you if you're watching this broadcast here, because they can help you get started on this. And we're doing something. Let me close up some of this here, these little windows. We started something just a week ago, and it's going all the way till the 31st of December. It's our holiday recess set from stuffed to strong shred challenge. You can join this, just get on the protocol, get back here with any of us here, and you can join this here. We're giving away money, we're giving away, other prizes, some free product, and you can come in this support group. It's phenomenal. We're all holding each other accountable. We're posting on there. Even pets are on here, which is cute. We got people are posting their pictures. I mean, we are having a blast in this group. So get back, with any of us that you see here, and we'll help you get into this, and help you get through this holiday season without any more struggling. So screenshot this page and get with us so we can help you on this journey. No
And
more
then
diets.
and it's a 90-day money back guarantee.
Yep.
Thank you for mentioning that. Yep,
You
90
bet.
days.
90
Right
days.
on. Oh,
That's what I
and
said. What do you
yeah,
got
and
to
we
lose?
have we have a discount link. All of us do. We'll share your link with us, because we have a link that we got because we're on the system. If we share that with you, you get the same cost we do. It's like $5 a day. Go
No
figure.
brainer.
Anything you want to add, John? You just got this big smile on your face.
I'm just so thrilled to be a part of this movement for better health, and it's just great. Nothing more to add. It works. I'm living proof of that, and I'm all in.
That sounds great. Well, I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your Sunday to do this with us. We're going to be doing many more of these to share many more stories every week, maybe sometimes several times a week. So thank you very much, everybody, and happy Sunday. And we'll catch you guys all later.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have an awesome afternoon, everybody.
All
Bye.
right.